G'day everyone, Jay here, Squiggle FPV. Just want to do a quick review and an unboxing of the Sailfly-X, the Happy Models. Now this is pretty cool. It is like the toothpick style. I don't like using toothpick, and also another one's Whoop, because they're actually a brand and it's somebody invented them. So when you say it's a toothpick, it's not a class, it's a brand. This isn't a toothpick because I believe it is kebab. Maybe I'll have to check that. The person who invented the toothpick invented a toothpick. That's a toothpick. This is a micro. You know, with well, I think they're about 2 inch for that sort of thing. And there's a lot of people out there that argue both ways, but I'm going to say that this is a micro. So you know, leave a comment, let me know what you think. But yeah, so you know, people say Whoop style, people say Tiny Whoop for, you know, ducted micros, but Tiny Whoop is a brand. You know, it's like calling a vacuum cleaner a Hoover. It's not, it's a vacuum cleaner made by Hoover. But anyway, that's another day. So yeah, this is Happy Models Sailfly-X, and it's I'm pretty excited, you know, like I've heard a lot about them. There's lots of, you know, it's got the crazy bee in it, so you know, there's lots of people out there that have blown them up. I have yet to have a go of it, so I'm not too sure. A little bit worried that if I do stack it, but it has got the capacitor. So the capacitor, which was brought out as a recall sort of thing, or a I don't know what you'd call it, like a suggested modification to stop that sort of stuff by Happy Model. This has got it. Now, one thing I will say is the battery that I have noticed, mounting it backwards is the best way to go. So you have your battery cable coming out the front, because if you have it out the back, then this all sits up the top like this, and you know, you could get your props into it. So mount it so you connect it round to the side like that. But yeah, let's have a look at the up close and we'll see how we go. Alright, here we are with the up close. Now this is it here. I've got the FrSky version. You can get it in FlySky and also Spectrum. Spectrum has DSM-2 and DSM-X. The non-RX version will do serial bus or S-bus. And so for things like your FrSky, XM+, RXSR, and also Crossfire, and I think there's another one, FHSS, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure how it goes with your Spectrum, because the inverted signal and all that sort of stuff. So maybe just get the inbuilt Spectrum if you're going to get it, if you've got Spectrum. Now let's give it a good look at it. Now here it is here, nice little unit. It's got the 2mm carbon fibre here, TPU printed stuff. We get the little box and everything out. There's your battery, 300 milliamp, and here's your little instructions. Tells you everything about what you want to do. First thing I recommend is to flash the board with the latest Betaflight, because they always, for some reason, come out with the beta test version 4.0.0. Everybody I've ever seen has always gone, oh, where's my modes? And because it's that version, those sort of things don't work. Now, I will put a link down the bottom. I can explain it, but it's a bit difficult. But Joshua Bardwell, good old Joshua Bardwell, has a video on everything. He has done a very good video, really easy, on how to change it to 4.0. I think it's 3 at the moment. So you basically dump all your stuff, upgrade to the new one, throw it all back on in CLI. He does a really good video on it, so I'll link that down below, and that'll get you going. Now, as you can see, it's got, you know, TPU printed stuff everywhere, and you get a second canopy, the purple one. Now, the purple one if you can see there, is slightly higher. So I think this is 20 degrees and this is 30 degrees. It's a slightly higher angle. If you want to go fast and just fang it around, that's the one you want to go for. If you just want to do some slower sort of acro-y sort of stuff. I can't actually see much of a difference. Oh yeah, when you put it down there, you can see it's a little bit higher. Now the printing on it, I've got to say, not impressed with. There's like little bits and pieces everywhere. Little, if you can see, there's little dingly bits everywhere. Just finer adjustments, you know. It's very, very steppy, and you can see all the ridges and stuff. I know there's a lot of guys that when they get into it, they start doing it really, really intense printing, and you know, they get it where you can't even see all these lines. Just takes a bit of time, you know, but I guess when they're pumping them out, they don't want to do that. So yeah, so your battery goes in here, 300 milliamp Happy Models battery, just slides in like that, and away you go. They do, now I'm not too impressed with that battery, and I'll give you a reason why in a minute, but they do give you in the little kit, look at this, a little battery strap, so you can actually take this off and put a strap in there, and then put a bigger or a better, so I'm going to use 450s. Some people say don't, I do. You know, it's the way I am. And you know, you can put a bigger battery in there, and then you strap it on with this. They also come with the on the board, they've got this, the updated version for the XT30, which has got the capacitor. Now this is meant to stop the boards going, but I have heard of people still having problems with it. Now you've got the camera and VTX all in one here. It is, I think it's the same one as what's in the Mobula 7, not the HD obviously. You've got your button there for changing all your channels and everything, and it's a pretty good camera. I like them. Now the motors, they're 1102 8500s for 3S. Yeah, they're good because I like these. These have got the 1.5mm shaft, so a little bit stronger, especially with your open props. With the you know, the ducts and everything, they're a little bit more protected, so you can have your 1mm shafts and your 0.8s, is it, or 0.6 on the smaller ones. So you have no problems. But as soon as you go in open props, I snapped one off straight away. Now the rest of the bag, you got a lot of little goodies here. I was pretty impressed with the fact that you get so many props. Look at this, you got one set and two sets, and don't lose those, and three sets. So you get 3 sets of props. So obviously they know that you're going to smash it, and they're pretty. They feel like they're a bit brittle, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes out in the field. Obviously your prop removing tool. Gotta love these things. This one's a bit flimsy, but I've got some better ones. There's another battery holder for if you want to go color coded, if that means a lot to you. But then again, if you break it, you got a spare. A couple of spare screws. They are motor screws, and I always give these a bit of a tighten as soon as they come out of the box, just because I've lost so many of them, and it's just from not checking them. Because yeah, if you just do this, then saves you a lot of hassle later on when you're like, oh no, I've lost a screw. Yeah, said that so many times. But they do run with 2. Now the one interesting thing, I'll just finish off doing this. I've got to do number 4, and there we go. Yeah, nice and tight. Now the one interesting thing that I found about this is, can you see that? There's your USB. Now if you know the Crazy Bee Pro 4, you'll know what that means. That means that this is mounted upside down. So, and that is also something you've got to look out for when you're flashing your board, right? Because I didn't realize this until after. Flash the board, away you go, start her up,
and instead of being, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you have to basically flip the board this way and turn it like that or something like that. It shows you in here, but if you do your CLI dump, you won't have that problem. So there it is there, the default factory firmware. So you've got resource motor. It changes where your motors are, and then it sets your gyro alignment at 90 degrees flip. 90 degrees, should be 180 degrees flip, but that works. So yeah, so it just basically flips it over. Now, interesting thing about it, your motor, you know, it makes the bottom a lot cleaner because all your motor connectors and all that sort of stuff, and your micro USB, it's all just tighten it up. It's all on the top now, so it's a bit more protected if you come down pretty hard. But yeah, having a look at it, you know, I'm happy with it. I reckon it looks all right. It you know, we're still yet to see how it flies, but we'll give that a crack and see how we go. Oh, this is another thing too. These little things here, I believe this is for your battery. So you've got a sticky, you know, you stick this in, put it under there, and so when you put your battery strap on, it stops the battery moving around. I've got a lot better ones. I will use those. That doesn't feel very sticky at all. Wouldn't stop much moving. But anyway, that's how it is. So, all right, that's the unboxing. So let's go out and see what it does out in the field. All right. Now here we go, straight out of the gate. That's how quick it is. I told you it was quick, and it's quick. Does nice power loops, a little bit of oscillation there. Yaw spins pretty good. Now when I got out to the edge here, this is about where I started to get an RSSI warning. So what's that, about 250, 300 meters? It's a fair range for a little micro, especially with just that little wire as the antenna. Now it does do nice things. The rolls are nice and quick. It's not as snappy as I would have thought, you know, but you can always increase your rate there. I'm not really flying it as smooth as I could, but it's only my first flight with it, so I'm still getting used to it. I'm staying a bit higher than I would normally, purely because of that, you know, if I hit the ground, I could either break it or, you know, blow the board up, from what I've heard. But the capacitor's supposed to fix that. Other than that, it flies really nice, really quick. Little bit of break up there, but that's when you get behind those trees. But otherwise, that camera, it's nice and clear. I'm quite impressed with such a small little all-in-one camera VTX unit. They really do well. I'm pretty sure it's the same one as the Mobula 7, like the non-HD version, of course. But yeah. Now, with the camera angle, like I was saying before, with the 30 degree and the 40 degree, I think it's a bit much. You know, I like to, with a bit of acro sort of stuff, you like to try and fly backwards. Now, I do have a go at flying backwards here later, but you're basically looking at the sky, so you can't see anything that I'm doing. Should be coming up in a second. What I reckon 25 and 35 would be plenty. It leaves a lot more for doing acro and also for going pretty quick if you want to use it for racing. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. They'll probably stick with what they've got. Now, I'll see if it's coming up here where I do sort of pause a bit and then start to try and fly backwards. But here it is. No. Oh well, yeah, here we go. So they're not really doing anything there that you can tell I was flying backwards, because you're basically pointing at the sky. But yeah, when you do the punch outs, that's the one thing that's got me, is that there's a little bit of oscillation there. But the one thing that's got me is, you know, when you do the big punch outs and you hear that noise of the oscillation. Now, when I did bring it in, the motors were cool, so I'm not sure. It's one of the P gain or the I gain or the D gain. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch a couple of videos and give it a good look. But we'll see what happens, and if I do find something, I'll definitely let you guys know. But another thing that did happen with it, and it happened with my Mobula 7 as well, happens at the end here, where it just dropped out of the sky. And I'm not sure what's going on. Here we go, there's some more backwards flying, looking at the sky, so you can't really see the effect. Now, it's coming up in a second. We almost hit the ground there. That was a bit of a pucker up. But here we go. You'll see it in a second. I come down, I go to fly up to the deck, and it just drops out of the sky. Not happy with that. There we go.
Alright, we're back. As you saw with the video there, it's pretty damn quick. Very agile, flies pretty well. Got to say though, there's a little bit of jitters and stuff like that. When you do a big punch out, you can't hear in the video because I don't have sound, but it's sort of as you jet it up there. Now I'm going to play with the tune over the next couple of weeks when I get some time, see how we go with that. I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get rid of that quite easily, but otherwise it does fly really, really well. Now, one other thing that I was worried about, the batteries. Like I have two batteries. Well, I had one battery, but I charged it and used it again. I got 4 minutes and 9 seconds and 4 minutes and 19 seconds. That's not too bad for something like this. You know, 4 or 5 minute flight time for something like this is reasonable. But when I did my charge, I'm using an ISDT. When I did the charge, normally they say, you know, with the battery's resistance, if you go under 10 milliohms, they're brand new batteries, 10 to 20, still pretty good. Over 20, chuck them away, right? This battery, both times I charged it, 100 milliohms, which, you know, if you're going off what everyone says, they're chuckaways. But as I said, still got 4 minutes 10, 4 minutes 20. So don't know what to make of that. But you know, I do have some other ones that are slightly bigger, 450 milliamp, and I'll be using those. A little bit heavier, but you know, a little bit better flight times, I think. We'll see how the trade-off is. Now, I'll have to correct what I said in the start. The two different angles, you have the red one is a 30 degree and the purple one is the 40 degree. Now, it's hard enough to keep this going fairly slow with the 30 degree on it. If you whack a 40 degree on it, it's going to be like this, and you just, it's so hard to, you got to have some pretty damn good reaction times, just quietly. You know, flying this thing any bit of slow, you're looking at the sky almost. But when it flies at its speed, especially with the 30 degree, when you're flying at speed, yeah, it's really responsive, it's really agile, it flies really well. But the tune, that's the problem that I'm having. But all in all, I'd have to say, yes, this is a good little unit. Would I buy one myself? Probably. But I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. No way. 1, you're going to stack it. 2, you're going to break it. And 3, you don't want that, because you won't want to stay in the hobby. If you buy this, break it in 10 seconds, you'd be over it. So I'd say intermediate, which maybe I am a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, that's for sure, but definitely not for beginners at all. Yeah, probably someone with a little bit of experience. So if you want to get into it, something like Tiny Hawk or Mobula 7 would be better. But if you've been flying for a while, you're quite competent-ish. I still stack. Everyone stacks. Johnny FPV stacks, Mr. Seal stacks, Chapu stacks. Everyone crashes. If you don't crash, you're not trying hard enough. But yeah, not for beginners. Very good. They retail at around $85 to $90 for the different types of receivers and stuff. Pretty good value. It's fun. It's fast. For the same price, there's not really much around. $85, $90 for a little ultra micro. Yeah, it's good value. Batteries, I'm still undecided. Give me a few more packs, and that resistance is really worrying me. But other than that, yeah, give it a go. All right, I'll put a link down the bottom for this and everything else I've used in the video, all my gear, and also for the 450 milliamp batteries that I will be using. Hope you enjoy this. Make your own decision. Like I said, not for beginners. Go get one, have some fun with it, because they are bloody quick. I will give it that. Absolutely amazing, the speed. And yeah, have fun, keep flying. Catch you next time.